Let's start the episode like that. All right, we're gonna go.
All three of us, we just hand up.
3.
ASMR.
Kaylee's getting you guys' mind right.
We're all here.
Episode, what is it, 15 or 14?
15.
Episode 15. Patent pending podcast, episode 15.
Yeah.
It's a podcast for creatives.
Are you starting it?
Do it.
By creatives.
And today we have on Kaylie Foster.
Yeah. Yes, we're going to talk
Kaylie?
very, very quiet. Hi.
First of all, thank you so much for coming on. We were very excited about this episode. We love you dearly. Every time we get to see you, it's a good time. So thank you so much for making the time.
It's like built-in hanging out.
Basically.
I know.
I'm glad that, our schedules aligned. The universe,
Yes.
X, Y, and Z lined up for this. So,
Yes, absolutely.
if you're listening, you're in for a treat.
Weird.
Yeah,
Because
Kaylee's been super excited.
because she's
God
awesome.
damn it, I didn't warm up.
I just caught on. My brain is slow today. But you're in for a treat because the schedule worked out. She's a very, very busy human being.
So are you guys.
And on that, Kaylie, what is it you do?
What is it I do? Okay. I feel like I do too much.
Same.
I don't know if anybody else can relate.
Yeah.
No. So my current day to day work is with UFC, the social media coordinator. I just hit my 2-year mark in August. So
You've already been there for 2
Wow.
years.
Isn't that crazy?
Holy
Yeah.
shit.
It's fucking nuts.
I feel like you
can
got
I
hired
cuss
there
on here?
last month.
Yeah. Holy shit, time flies.
Dude. Well, yeah, I mean, I was hired obviously, so August of 2020, which was still at the height of you know, COVID. So that whole, I feel like the first year that I was there was just wild. And wild in a way that I was like, it's a blur. Everything just mixes together, right?
Yeah.
And we were doing a ton of shows at the Apex, so it was hard to discern. We're at Vegas 60 this week, UFC Vegas 60.
Oh, wow.
Oh shit! And did
It's our
that
60th,
start during the pandemic?
Yes.
The fight
I believe
nights,
so.
right? They
Yes.
started counting them.
When we were in
Well, and then now there's the Tuesday Contender Series too, right?
Contender Series. Yep, we
Wow.
have that. Dana White's Contender
It's almost.
Series. It's so we're in week 7 or 8. I think this is week 8.
Mm-hmm.
So we're almost there. We have 10 weeks of Contender Series, and it happens during normal fight weeks. Doesn't matter if it's a pay-per-view or a fight night or whatever.
So, I since I watch UFC,
yes.
do you guys do 3 events and then take a week off, and then 3 events and take a week off?
I wish.
Or is it because I felt like you get a week off maybe once a month, but
so it varies. I mean,
okay.
there was a period of time we just got finished with a 12-week run. Where 12 weeks of events, including Contender Series. So, sometimes just depending on how it lines up. I mean, they try to have off weeks here and there.
Mm-hmm.
So that we don't have any events, but I mean, we're doing I want to say 45 events a year, if not more, which is 45 out of 52 weeks in a year. It's insane.
Yeah.
But we're always rocking and rolling. Luckily enough, on my team, we've gotten to a point where we have enough people that 1 or 2 people can be off every single weekend for an event night. So we're still working during the week, but not everybody's having to work every single event.
Okay, so you guys kind of just shift when you need to.
Yes. Yeah, it's a rotation, which is nice. A lot of us are we can do a little bit of everything, and we can swap. Some of us are on the 1s and 2s posting, some of us are getting the content, and we just kind of rotate.
I was going to say, I noticed that you guys seem very multifaceted in the sense that you have a camera with you as well, right? So you could be shooting.
Yeah, I mean, we have, so the beauty of UFC and our team is that we're able to buy like a lot of equipment. We have a great budget. And so we have like 4 A7S3, 4 or 5. I think we're actually at 5 camera bodies for the A7S3.
And that's just for the social team.
And that's just for the
social team. That's outside of the actual photo team.
Yeah, no. The photo team has their own set. So like we are very well equipped at this point so that, you know, if somebody's on the road, you know, we still have cameras on site if there are people at the PI working, even if it's an event that's happening outside of, HQ. So yeah, we're all very much multifaceted, which is great, you know.
And what are some of those facets that you find that you need to be able to do on a day-to-day basis, you know, as far as like posting or shooting or?
I think for the most part, like they typically, like when I started, it was, you know, I came in, I already had my own photo and video experience. However, most of the people that we hire, we want to make sure that everybody is capable of being able to shoot both video and photo, but also be able to work at an extremely high pace. Like the pacing is probably the most vital part to our role. And like you guys know, with nightlife and turnarounds, especially in that, you know, scope, I mean, we're having to, it's kind of just like a cyclical thing where we're, you know, somebody's getting their hands wrapped backstage. So I'm getting the hand wraps. Somebody else is warming up. So I'm going to go get their warm up, and somebody might be, you know, arriving, like a main event is arriving. So I'm getting their arrivals, like some photos and videos, or, you know, we have 2 people. Usually we have 2 people at a minimum on site so that we're not like having to do that all by ourselves. But I came from when I first started, it was like a very small team. So I'm like, whenever I get on site, I'm like, I got to do it all. I got to get everything. Like, fuck you. I don't care. I'm still, So basically it just comes down to pacing is the most important part. I think that, and that comes down, that's whether it's shooting, that's whether it's posting, it's whether it's, you know, like my role has kind of shifted more to like I am a what's the word? I like assist and kind of coordinate on a lot of different levels with different departments. So I'm in touch with like PR, sponsorships.
Oh wow. Okay.
Sometimes like our athlete development side of the team, etc. And so, you know, like for me, I'm like always like, okay, if we have announcements coming through, you know, I have to make sure that that's also turned around fast. So I'm also talking to our creative team and making sure that they're, you know, they have enough time in their schedule to be able to get something, you know, made up quickly.
So, I mean, when you're talking to these other departments, it's still in reference to social media though, right?
Yeah. Yes and no. Okay. 'Cause mostly social media. But I still like, especially too, like with PR and announcements, like if we have a new bout come through, you know, I'm actually kind of disseminating both assets and information to people beyond just our social team.
Oh, okay.
You know,
nice.
Yeah. Because everybody needs that information.
Right.
Well, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like I've kind of become that kind of like liaison, I guess, for the social team. So
nice.
It's pretty different.
Yeah, I saw from my perspective that pace that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I was fortunate enough to shoot for the city of Las Vegas, the Covington Masvidal card.
Right.
So my responsibilities was social for Las Vegas. So I had I didn't have access to locker rooms, and I couldn't show off anything of the actual fight, but I got to go backstage in the hallways. I got to shoot everything. So if you're listening, I got to see exactly her team and the photo and video side of everything, because I mean, for my brain, when I'm like at somewhere, like I'm looking at like, I'm watching the fights, but I'm also looking at like who's photoing, who's doing, like I'm just like watching that.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see, like you said, like if someone's here grabbing this walkout and then they're running back, and then I see it posted, and then they're dropping cards, and it's a whirlwind.
It's nuts. Like,
but it was cool to see oh my God, like you guys really are ping ponging every single, so.
We are ping pong.
I feel like that's the best way to learn too, is to actually just like have a couple opportunities to just watch how it works.
Yes.
And then if you're ever in that situation, then you're not nearly as lost.
Yeah. Well, and if you see like we operate on Slack for like because if you think about it, yes, we have like my team on ground at headquarters here in Vegas, but we have, 20 other people across our regional teams who are posting for UFC Europe, UFC Brazil, UFC Canada, like, so we have the content that we're grabbing is not just for like at UFC, it's for everyone on our social team. So like, if we have to at HQ be very cognizant of, like, Team Brazil, we have like, let's say we have a very heavy Brazilian fighter card. Like we're going to try to get some shout outs in Portuguese and stuff like that. That you have to kind of think not just what like we need. It's like what everybody needs, Oh, dang. So it's a lot of stuff.
You think outside of your own box.
Yes. Yeah. I definitely feel like it's equipped me just to be, fast thinker just on your toes. Fast thinker for sure.
I feel like those are some, like those are some very, very good, definitely some skills to add to your toolbox to like whatever you do in the future.
Oh, for sure.
Like right now, like from my perspective, you're like at the top in that sense of like, if you can get through this and you can juggle a million things, like.
Oh, everything else is a cakewalk, man. I swear, like, especially too from when I started and just being like, I'm the only person who's working Contender Series tonight. That means I have to get X amount of, everything, right? So my brain is just like, get everything. And then now it's like, okay, if I have one or two other people with me, I'm like, oh, it's chill.
Right.
It's so much more chill. But I'm grateful. I'm grateful to have those experiences though, because high pay, like when on job applications, when they say high pace, I know what that shit is.
Don't know what high pace is.
Bro, I work for the UFC or work in nightlife and you'll know.
The only other comparison I could think about is that I haven't worked in personally is maybe the food industry.
Or food. Yeah, right? Sure.
I feel like that could be pretty high pace.
Yeah, like in the kitchen. Oh my gosh.
You see those fucking pork.
He's like, wait, what?
Well, I was thinking in terms of us creatively, like, no, but you're just saying like in general.
Like
a
real high job.
So it's two different things though, because I always look at those poor kids, I'm just trying to get a fucking burger and they're in and out working their ass off in the back. That's high pace. But then there's a different type of high pace when you're in our environment and you're high pace, but then you also are forced to be creative at a high pace.
Yeah, that is so true.
That's the next level.
Yes.
Because it's like, oh, cool. Like you can do this, like you can make beautiful images or beautiful videos, but it's like, can you do it when someone's breathing down your neck and saying like, hey, we need this now. Or hey, we need this 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We need it 10 minutes ago, but we need you to see it in a different perspective. Like tonight. Yeah. Like my boss is always kind of like pushing the envelope with us. Like, hey, we know what we can get. We have the equipment. We have high quality, like we can push out stuff that's high quality. Like what angle have we not gotten or thought about or like, you know, what ways, which is so nice. Like it's nice to be on a team and have leaders who are pushing us to be creative, but like also giving us the necessary like ground and tools to stand on. It's like, okay, you have a good idea. Okay, cool. Like we can get there, and we can, if you want, like, I don't know, like lens adapters to make it look cool. Like we can get that stuff. We don't have, the sky's the limit really in that regard.
I think that's awesome because and the amount of Shure volume that you guys are dealing with on the day-to-day through the week through the fight, there's like you could take a picture or a social video of just some fighter standing there snap. It's like, but like how do you make it, like you said, more appealing? How do you take it to that next level? And like Mike said, like on the fly though, like someone's just standing there and they're not here, they're worried about weight cutting and this and that, but like how do you make this little razzle dazzle now?
And luckily enough too, like we've started to be very much more transparent with our fighters that like if you see us walking around and we have a camera, like put it on, man. Like we are here to build you guys up.
Yeah, you guys are on the same team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so we have an athlete coordinator who's actually been doing more gym visits and is doing like seminars for our athletes to understand and better, realize how big of a tool that social media can be.
Oh yeah, that's fighters.
Yeah.
Well, it's mutually beneficial to everybody.
Sometimes they're like, wait, what? Huh?
I'm just so tired of these photos. Like,
I'm like, but you look so good. Like, let us make you look good.
Well, I feel like the fighters need it though too. Like, look at Patty.
Yeah.
He's a newer person in this realm.
Yeah.
And then he's doing, I may be speaking out of turn, but he's doing very well because of his social media presence and because of his personality, right?
Yes. Yeah. But he's definitely taken, he's seen the benefit to social media.
So now, now a lot of the fighters I feel like have to see that as a
star power, man.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like they should, for not only of the obvious reasons in front of their face of like, the star power or like user potential. I look at it because if I was in that position, I'd be like, you can get injured and then not work for 2 years or so. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you got to, for me, it's like, think of longevity outside of just physically fighting. Like, use
sponsorships.
Use your platform.
So many. Yeah. Patty's a great example because he turned that star power into a 7-figure contract with Barstool.
Oh,
so, shit. And Molly McCann also, she got a contract with Barstool. So it's like, when you realize, not everybody's like built to be a star necessarily in that regard. And not everybody's like comfortable. Like, these fighters are fighters first. Like, they come in, but they have their job to do that they want to do. But if you see kind of like there's an entertainment factor to it as well. So, and some people aren't about it, and that's totally fine. Like, if you're a good fucking fighter and that's all you do.
Yeah.
I respect it all,
Yeah.
But there are so many ways to kind of continue to build that up.
Yeah.
Even if you're a shitty fighter, you could still do good stuff. Depending. We try to make everyone.
Do you have any formal education?
I do.
You went to college, right? So was it in like?
It's always like an interesting. No, I do.
Do you? So was it in the background that you're currently working in?
So I got my degree in marketing.
I
got my bachelor's degree in marketing. I minored in music.
Say what?
What? So yeah,
where was that at UNLV?
It was at U of A, so University of Arizona, Tucson Wildcats. Let's go.
I was actually gonna go there. That's funny.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't go, obviously.
Oh, it's okay. I don't know. It's not obvious. I don't know. Maybe you don't know.
She did it.
I was making a joke because it's like, I'm a scumbag.
No, you're not. No self-deprecation. None here.
When did you go there?
So I went from 2010 to 2014. And I had a great time there. Like, it was awesome. Not just the partying, but, the school itself was great. Very well-rounded education, I would say. And I didn't know. So I took like a marketing class in high school in my sophomore year of high school. And I was like, man, that sounds cool. Like, I'll do that.
Where'd you get a marketing class in high school?
Yeah.
I was in Beaverton, Oregon. I don't know. I had like a.
That's awesome. That's what I'm saying. That should be like a thing.
Most random thing.
You're so confused that we were not used to marketing in high school.
No, it was like, it's weird. You're right. Like, having a marketing class in high school is kind of different, but it was like a basic. It was like an intro to marketing class, and I was like very intrigued.
It's like an elective, or like it count for like a math credit or a science credit? I don't know.
Oh man.
I'm curious like how they would I'm curious how they would like justify having that type of class in high school, because like you can do like stats, and that's like I remember that was a math class.
I don't know. I truly can't recall like what
whatever.
It sounds like it might have been an elective in my brain.
Yeah. But then I feel like if they would have that as an elective, there'd be like 6 kids that would take it.
Yeah, right. No, it was we actually had a fairly like full class too. It was interesting. I feel like we had like 20 or 30 kids in that class.
Nice.
But yeah, that was like my first introduction. And honestly, I never really kind of looked back, which is, I'm grateful because I know if I hadn't taken that class, I don't know the hell I would have studied in school.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to know. And I understand why so many people go into college like undecided because like, how the hell are you supposed to know?
Well, a lot of people that we've talked to so far have gone to school for one thing.
Yeah.
But don't currently do that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I've obviously wavered between what I studied in school and what I do now. I mean, what I do now in social media is very much like related to my degree. However, with the music portion of it, like I didn't major in music so I'm still doing a very different like side of, I don't know, being creative. Yeah, because like with marketing too, it's like that's like very business minded and it's very like, certain
like back end.
It's like
stuff.
different compartments in my mind. I'm like, when I talk UFC and social media, I'm like, yeah. And then it's like when I talk about music, I'm like, yeah, like, it's like so different.
Jekyll and, was it Dr. Jekyll and Hyde?
Yeah, it's like one of those things.
You don't know?
No, I don't know.
It's okay.
I know I've heard the reference. I can't think of it.
Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Mrs.
But I never
Hyde?
seen it.
Wow.
I
know it's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Mr. Hyde, right?
I feel like I can't look at him. He doesn't know. So this is just...
Yeah, it's just us.
We'll agree.
Yeah, it's exactly that. Yeah.
So you mentioned a minor in music.
Mm-hmm.
Where did you study music at?
So it was at the same school at U of A.
Yeah, duh. What, you go to a different school?
It's okay. Yeah, I went to a special school.
I clearly, I don't know.
No, it's okay.
I never went to college. I don't know how it works.
I'm just giving my
Guess what, guys? She had to go to... Sorry, it's my coffee maker.
So you had a minor in music there
minor
as well.
in music, which I think was like, I don't remember how many credits it was, but I did choir, I had to do music theory. I had elective classes, which those ones were pretty cool. Like there was like an electroacoustic class that went over, like my teacher was so dope. I forgot his name, but there was no note taking. We were just like, it was project based, we'd go in and create music like in whatever DAW. But what was cool about that is like we went over like how sampling worked and kind of going into old school sample, not like what you think of like hip hop samples or whatever. It's like legit like weird like
deep dives,
weird stuff. Yeah. But good. I mean,
that's funny you mentioned that because when you said samples, my brain went to samples that I'm used to.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the modern day type of sampling, right?
Yeah.
How was it back then? Was it like more?
There was I just remember Brian Eno was like one of the musicians that we studied. I can't speak too much on it because it's been some time, but I just remember it being a very intriguing class, like in, as far as like a minor, like, it's just fun, different stuff that you wouldn't normally think to take.
Yeah.
Do you find stuff that you learned in your music minor has helped you in your music career today?
Somewhat. I can't tell you I remember entirely like all music theory. Music theory is like the math of music, and because music is very mathematical and my brain just does not work that way.
Yeah. It's the other side. It's the flowy side.
It's the flow. So woo, yeah. It's exactly that. It is much more flowy and more organic for me. So yeah, no, there are still like little things here and there that I kind of remember, but for the most part, it was just like another way for me to kind of fuel that creative fire.
While also having like marketing, it's like kind of A and B. Because my next question is, for somebody who's kind of maybe graduating high school or they want to do something creatively, do you find that was a necessity for you, or do you find that somebody might need to go to college or?
I love talking about this.
Yeah. Because another good question is, say you don't know what you want to do. You want to do something creatively. Right. Should I go to college or should I not go to college?
Right. I think
because I think we have both sides. You went, Sean and I did not.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it depends. I think so many things are kind of changing even since I graduated college. I think trade schools are incredibly important. I think if you are passionate about a specific thing or medium or whatever it is, like, especially, you see like the Institute of Technologies and stuff like that, or, smaller trade schools that really focus in on building specific skills, I think that's great. Yeah. Because I can tell you from my experience going to school, like, I didn't start really deep diving into anything marketing related until my junior year of college.
Yeah, until you get your core classes.
Because you still have to get core classes.
Yeah.
You still have to do prereqs. You still have to do a lot of, it's like 2 years of extra extended high school, essentially.
Like busy work.
Yeah. And so for me, I'm like, oh man, it would have been nice to have some of that time spent a little bit more fine-tuned and focused in on a specific skill set.
Yeah.
However, I was like incredibly involved. I was involved in like my business college and stuff like that. Like from freshman year on, they had like a really good kind of pre-business program and like extracurricular programs for us.
Yeah.
However, not every single student got to partake in that, So it's like I got more fine-tuned experience, and business experience and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. I really like the idea of trade schools for future kind of work.
Yeah,
studies.
I went to a trade school when I was an electrician. I did have to, get my certifications for that. So I did have that background.
Right.
But for me, I feel like in the creative arts photography, part of me wishes I had done something
a little more technical than.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like we brought it up before. I just feel like, am I missing something? I don't know.
Okay. Yeah.
I see both sides of the coin.
Right.
I've heard both sides of the coin, but for me, I'm like, did I miss something? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that I don't think it's a necessity for sure.
I don't think it's a necessity, but I also don't think it's the opposite where it's like, you don't need it, you shouldn't go.
So as far as like formal education is like a college for photography, I don't think it's a thing, but you could definitely do like, you can go to your local camera shop. Like our camera shop has classes.
Yeah.
That more of a formal education school, but I don't think you need to go to university for that type of thing.
Yeah.
It also, sorry.
No, go for it.
I think it
You're
also,
our guest. You can talk all over.
Cut us off whenever you want.
No.
This is your episode. Do whatever you want.
No. Whatever. I do what I want. No, I think like it also kind of depends on the person too, right? Like if you have somebody who's like very much dedicated to self-learning, and there are so many tools, and you have YouTube and you have all of these things kind of at your fingertips to be able to learn and do and figure out, especially like with photography or videography and stuff. Like there are people giving out there's so much free advice out there, but you also have to be somebody who's like, I'm willing to push myself to take the time.
I think Esteban said the same exact thing. You have to have I think it was Esteban, right? Or was it our last guest? But they were saying it's out there, but you have to have the motivation to do it. Yes. So if you're not that type of person that's like going to push yourself to do it, then
I think like
actually they both might have,
Yeah. Then I think like, formal schooling might be beneficial for those who are like, I don't necessarily have direction, right? Because it's always nice to have some sort of direction, an instructor or teacher telling you, okay, like, hey, like study these people who have come before you, et cetera.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you just nailed the part that I am missing. Is like, I guess maybe I'm not missing the like college. It's more so like I didn't have a mentor or somebody to be like, yeah, here's these people you should like look at, or things like that. Like I didn't have that direction. It was just like kind of me figuring it out as I went.
Yeah. I think mentors are a huge part.
Absolutely.
And like if you
in anything.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like I look at like my dad was
just
probably
gonna say, your father and your music.
Yeah, my dad is like my biggest mentor when it comes to music, but he was never like sit down and, hey, I'm going to teach you this. It was more like guiding me and like, hey, you should like maybe listen to this person, or, you know, this is somebody who definitely is the reason why this music is so prevalent, or,
Gotcha.
you know,
a little more knowledge and guidance versus just like forcing you to tell.
Yeah. I don't like, I mean, being force-fed stuff is never the answer. Unless you're just like, yeah, give it to me.
Yeah, unless you have that type of, you could have that personality where like, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Like he put the tools on the table and he's like, do whatever you want with them.
Oh, legit. Like when I first started like working with, like producing, like I was maybe 11 or 12. Wow. And he was like, oh, you should check out GarageBand. Like, this is great.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. He showed me just kind of like the very basics. And he was like, all right, you go do your thing.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad that he did that, because it enabled me to just figure it out and click around and understand, you know,
right,
the ins and outs. But because I'm a learner by doing. Not everybody's like that, but that's how I learn.
Yeah.
I'm very hands-on.
And I think a lot of us are creatives, right? Very hands-on.
That comes within the nature.
I was gonna say, I almost feel like the idea of not learning that way is like,
it's
so
like,
crazy.
wait, what?
Yeah, because
sorry,
I
I have to read.
Well, there is, because
is there another way?
I want to say my wife Ivana is the opposite. She's like a very book type of person. Like she could read things and obtain it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
whereas like me, I'm like, what? No, I'd like, give me the thing and I'll figure it out.
Yes.
I can't see you, Mike.
Give me the thing.
We look at each other all day, bro.
Did you?
Sorry to cut you off. I wanted to also touch on your father.
Yeah.
Can you just explain to anybody who doesn't know your father real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So my dad is Ronald Xavier Foster.
Nice.
He goes by Ronnie Foster. He is not just my dad. He is kind of like a Hammond B3 savant in a way.
Okay.
That's where he learned. He started on piano, the Hammond B3 organ, and then he started going on tour when he was 14. And he just like picked up music and it was so innate for him that it was just like, all right, this is exactly like it was his calling. And so he's had a very fruitful career as a musician, and, you know, playing with the likes of George Benson, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, and many more others. But he's had an incredible career as both a musician, as a producer. And it definitely laid the groundwork for my brothers and I to, you know, very easily gravitate towards music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to ask too, of how that kind of developed. Was it just being in a household that was very in front of your face being music, or is music something that you wanted to do and then it just worked out that your father is who he is, or was it just like the environment you grew up in that like naturally you're learning things at a very young age?
Right. I think it's like a combination, right? Like being in that environment early on and just hearing the music that I heard growing up and seeing what my dad did. Like it was always normal to have a studio in the house. Like that was just a normal thing. I'm like, that your house doesn't have a studio? I'm sorry, what?
You have fish tanks? Weird.
That's a little bit odd, but okay. So it was like environmental first. And then I think like it was just something that came super natural. And because my dad, you know, did what he did and does what he does.
Yeah, because he's still currently doing things.
Yeah, he's doing big things. I'm like, wait, what? I'm sorry, who? Yeah, he just got signed again to the record label that signed him when he was like 21.
Whoa.
Oh, what's the record label?
Blue Note.
Okay.
Yeah, Blue Note.
I thought maybe it was like one of the two that like I know.
No, but they're under like Capitol.
Okay,
Capitol.
Cool.
Yeah, which is crazy. Yes.
That I know out of the millions.
Which is so crazy. So
That's
it's
awesome.
like, it's very inspirational, you know, from my perspective, like to see that kind of career still going on, and he still has like a lot to say musically, which is so dope.
So I wanted to ask, how old is he?
Yeah, my dad is 72 years old.
There you go. That's fucking awesome.
And he's still crushing it.
That's awesome.
He's just doing the thing.
Dude,
yeah, it's so
awesome.
fucking awesome. And he's like, the label was like, oh yeah, like, you know, like touring maybe. And he's like, yeah, I want to tour. They're like, oh, really? And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Like I absolutely do, which is so awesome. You know, it's like he loves sharing his gift with the world and with people who are willing to listen.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, it's so dope. And like, you know, for me, like seeing that, it's like at 72, you can still do shit, you know? Like obviously there's a lot of years leading up to that point.
Yeah.
But it just shows, you know, there's always something to be said, to be seen, to be heard, you know, creatively. Yeah,
like if you're passionate about it, and obviously he is, then you like physically, if you can do that thing, then you might as well. Like his kids are grown, they're out of the house type of thing. So like, why wouldn't I want to still play music and possibly even tour and produce? Like, why the hell not? Yeah. So that's awesome.
So dope. Yeah. And it's like just proof is in the pudding, right? Like you really can do whatever it is that you want to do in this lifetime. And he could start at 70 years old. Like, you know, I mean, there are so many stories like that in the creative realm in general, where like, I think it was like Viola Davis didn't start acting until she was like 50 or 60. And she has done very well for herself, you know?
Yeah, there's Ivana's grandfather is 99.
Oh,
still awesome. Plays the piano every morning.
Shut up.
Yeah, plays the piano every morning, speaks 3 languages, and I believe he's learning Spanish as a 4th.
Oh, that's 99. So fucking rad.
Yeah, that is rad.
So like when I hear her talk about him, and I met him last year, it was just like, holy shit. Like, yeah, you definitely can, like, if you keep your mind
it's
busy,
all about mine. Yeah.
You can definitely, I mean, like I said, 99 playing the piano every day. Like that's his routine.
Yeah.
I love that.
So yeah.
Mind and body. You got to keep your body moving. I feel like that's a big one too.
Oh my gosh. I need to do more of that.
Yeah.
It sounds like you do a lot of that at work.
I run around. That's fine.
Yeah. You definitely kind of get that in your day to day.
Yeah. For
and
sure.
You get the.
Do you have an Apple Watch?
I do. I'm not wearing it right now, but you can see the tan line. You can see it. It's there.
That's the
baby, let's go. I love my Apple Watch. It helps. It's such a useful tool. I'm like,
when you're like running around and
when I'm running, after the end of like a fight night or something, like if I'm getting content, it's like 15,000 steps easy.
You look at me because I don't have one.
Well, no, but you just said, oh really? Like you're like alluding for me to like convince you to get one.
Because here's how I work, and my wife will attest to this. Like I'm like the person that has to wait. No, I'm the person that has to like wait like years after something, and then finally I'm like, oh, have you heard about this? And then everyone around you is like, yeah, we've been telling you since day one. Okay. Like, what is wrong with you?
So the biggest two things is the fitness aspect, which is rad.
Yes.
Just keep an eye on like how much you're moving, yada, yada, yada. The main thing is while you're shooting, you don't have to take your phone out of your pocket. If you get a text message, you can just go, oh, boop, boop. It's like, oh, hey, we need you over here. And it's like, oh, cool. And I can just go and I like the message so they know I got it and I run over there.
Yeah.
Like perfect in a high paced environment.
Yeah. So my hairstylist, Courtney, has that, and she said the same thing. Like whenever it's a text, like I'm busy with my hands all day, and I can just okay, cool. It's important. It's not important.
I had to turn my text off because it's so annoying. Because like we have a group chat like for my social team, and then I just that can go off at any given time, and I'm like, I don't want to get tapped every 2 seconds, and the chat is going off, you know, so. Taking that off has helped me has helped it be less of a distraction for me, but you know, for depending on the situation, it is very helpful.
Like if you're like home,
for sure.
Yeah. Like if you're at work. Like,
right. No, it's nice to be able to be like, okay, that's where I need to be right now.
Yeah. Like got it. It's like a one-way thing. Like somebody said something cool. I'm on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I first met you, you were working social for MGM, correct?
Yes.
How did that come about? How did you get there?
Yeah. So when I first came back out to Vegas after graduating college, I ended up getting an internship with the Light Group, which is no longer.
Gotcha.
But I got a marketing internship with them, and those connections ended up kind of leading me to the MGM position a few years later. Started out marketing as an intern, got hired full-time as a marketing coordinator, and then Hakkasan Group absorbed the Light Group in all of their venues. And so I transitioned over there, and, you know, we were kind of like, la-di-da, like, I don't know what to do. Like, it was kind of like a holding pattern for a month or two. And then eventually they're like, we need help on the social media front. You know, would you be able to manage some of these social accounts? And so that's where like my social media journey kind of began.
Career started.
To bloom. And what year was this?
That would have been 2015.
Okay.
2015. Yeah.
And then you worked there until 2019 or 2020?
So I was with Hakkasan Group, like Light Group and Hakkasan Group kind of together for about, I want to say a year and a half-ish. And then I pieced out. I wanted to just do music.
Yeah.
Because I was like, no, you know, like I really just want to do music. I had gotten a residency gig at a restaurant out in downtown Summerlin.
Ooh, nice.
And I was like, okay, like, yeah, I can finesse this.
Yeah.
You know, it was definitely a paycheck to paycheck type of environment for me for a while, but it was nice because I was like, I'm doing what I need to do and getting a lot of more music experience and performance experience under my belt. Did that. And then there was a point at which I was like, my voice was so worn out from doing those gigs, like, you know, doing multiple 3-hour gigs, 3 to 4 hour gigs here and there, you know, multiple times a week. I was not conditioning my voice properly as I should have been, but it's very common to get like vocal nodes for singers. So got those. I was like, all right.
What is a vocal node?
It's a nodule, and basically from your like your vocal cords or flaps is actually what they are. They rub together at such a high pace over time, they start to form
like an irritation almost.
And irritations, and it becomes inflamed. And so like when you hear people like singers when they're like, I have vocal nodes and I have to stop my tour or whatever, or like you can hear that there's like hoarseness, especially like in the top end or the bottom end of a voice. There are certain parts, you know, that you just can't reach. Like if you listen to, there are recordings that I did while I was when I was at that stage, and there's a huge difference in the timbre and the quality of my voice versus like if I were to sing just now.
Yeah.
So like I had to do vocal right now.
She's gonna
no, I'm not gonna.
So with that, do you just like how do you remedy that? Is it just like your body telling you to like pull back a little bit, or do you have to like actually do anything to
just like R&R?
It's vocal rest. Yeah. So you just have to, like, I couldn't sing for a month. I had to be very light with my voice and talking. Some doctors, dependent on, you know, the recommendations, it might be no talking. It might be you have to get surgery to remove them. Like if they get so bad, you know. I believe Adele actually had to get vocal nodules removed, which was scary because like as a singer, a vocalist, it could change like that kind of surgery can change your voice, you know. Luckily enough, she actually like her timbre is pretty much very much the same. I'm sure there are certain little like
I think she notices
things, but yeah, it's one of those things.
How did they so you went to a doctor for it?
So I went to a doctor. It's like an ENT doctor, ear, nose, throat doctor.
Did you like a little camera down there?
They did, yeah. They did the thing. They like numbed my throat, and then he was like, blah. And I was like, oh my God.
Did you get to see it?
I can't. I would have passed the fuck
really?
out.
Really?
I get so grossed out by the human body.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I had an
It's so gross.
I had an endoscopy, the same thing.
Really?
But it went all the way down. But I was asleep.
You were watching it?
No, I
okay.
would definitely watch it. Are
Oh
you
my
kidding me?
I feel like why not?
You would watch it?
Oh,
yeah.
Do you get
For
grossed
sure.
out by the, I
I
can't.
don't. I mean, even if I did, I feel like it's
No.
like
That shit would make me pass out
No,
so fast.
You should see the shit I send my friends.
no, I would definitely because it's like when do you get to see like inside of a body or like
Ew,
just
gross.
inside of your own body? Like,
I'm
whoa.
good. You know, sometimes like for the amount of like athletes and injuries I see on a day-to-day basis, you would think I would not be able to handle. Like, I don't know how my brain compartmentalizes that, but I'm more like keeping everything in focus versus like seeing injuries. But I swear,
What's the worst
like
injury
so
you've
gross.
seen though? Because most of it's blood, right? Things like that.
it's so,
Like cuts,
there are
blood,
gashes.
breaks.
Like there was one time there was like this guy's ear was just like partially
great question.
dismembered. I don't know. It's so gross. There's
And here we are having to
there are like
describe it.
gashes. Yeah, there's some gashes that have happened like on people's like eyebrows that I would think are pretty nasty. Like any of the leg breaks that have happened and like the arm breaks. Hell no. Bye.
Is a gash worse for you or like a bone break?
All of it.
Okay.
It all sucks.
What's the worst thing you've seen, Sean?
Yeah.
Anything notable?
Right now, no.
Okay.
I'm sure there is, but right now you hit me with
No.
you hit me
What
with a
about
random-
you?
I mean, I've seen stuff online.
Like I was gonna say, real life or online?
Yeah, because online I've seen some weird like nails in people's eyes, like a
Ew.
construction accident. It's like,
Oh,
oh
my
fuck.
god, no.
Yeah,
That makes me feel
like safety
weird.
training videos. Yeah, it'd be like,
I'd
this
pass
is what
out.
you don't do, and it's like, well, I'm not dealing with a nail gun. I'm an
Yeah,
electrician,
no.
but
Yeah.
sure, yeah.
I think I haven't seen. I've broken shit on myself. most.
Really?
Yeah, like when I dislocated my shoulder.
Oh my
that one really-
gosh.
it was stuck like over my head.
I would definitely pass out.
Yeah.
Just seeing him with like because this
Seeing you or like it happening to myself, like I would definitely pass out.
That sucked, and then I broke my leg, and like my leg was like, whoa.
Oh fuck,
But
yeah.
not too bad. But dislocations I don't like because it happened. So when I see like dislocations, I'm like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Like,
But
I'm
I
gonna
could-
throw up right now.
But
I'm
I
gonna
could
throw
poke
up.
you, I could poke your skull through your cut in your head, and it won't bug me.
Really?
Yeah.
Gross.
But the dislocations like gross.
That's so weird.
Well, it's because it happened to me, and it caused so much trauma that I don't want to look at it.
I mean, it's not weird. I guess. Yeah, that's fair.
Or ankle
It's
breaks, skaters like breaking their
Oh
ankles.
fuck,
That because I did that too. So like seeing people land and roll their ankle.
yeah, that's a good. Ugh.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Very
AJ
distinct.
had like he broke like his
Skateboarding,
leg
right?
and knee and all that stuff. Yeah.
I think you
it
guys
was
were
his
telling me
leg
about that
and
last
his
time.
Knee and all that stuff.
I don't know. I
His
just know
knee
it
and
was
the
really
other
bad.
things.
We weren't dating at the time, but like, yeah, no.
Dodged a bullet on that one, huh?
Yeah, definitely.
You got him after. When
I
he's all
still
healed
knew
up.
him though. It's kind of funny.
got
Yeah,
him
we
after.
still. I got
Smacked
him
him
after. Ha, ha, ha. Joke's on you.
Yep,
No.
I broke my collarbone a couple years ago. My girl had to like shower me and bathe me, and then
Yeah.
girlfriends before were in
Yeah.
that situation. too.
Well, okay, so AJ did break his ribs like
Oh, okay.
within. It was sometime I forget which time last year, but
Was it longboarding too? Right. That's how
Yeah.
you did the other one, right?
Yeah, and that was rough. Like it's hard seeing like your significant other in so much pain and not being able to do anything.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've ever had to deal with that.
she hasn't been in significant pain,
Yeah.
but she's had like surgeries and things like that. Where
Yeah.
you're like,
It's
I-
just
I think for men it's easier to compartmentalize. You're like, yeah, I'm here
Yeah.
if you need me, but like there's nothing I can do. Women are like, I want to fix you and help
Yeah.
you, and it's like,
like ow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's so true. You're like, I could get you water and like help you like shower.
yeah,
but, like,
Yeah.
I
I'm gonna
can't.
go do whatever I
Do
gotta get done.
whatever.
Yeah.
Or
That's
yeah,
funny.
it's like,
Yell for me if
yeah.
you need me.
Like you're on painkillers and you're recommended to sleep for 6 hours. Like I'm not gonna watch you sleep. Like
Right.
like you're good.
That's fine. That's all you can do. I
Yeah.
can't do anything. Yeah.
Look,
Meanwhile,
call
I'm
me
just
when you
like,
gotta take a
I'm
shit. I'll walk you over
crying.
there.
Yeah.
Like,
But other than that, I can't. Like you rest.
Right.
yeah, I actually haven't had that experience with my girlfriend. She's never really been injured.
That's good. Knock on wood.
Yeah, just sick.
Yeah.
She was pretty fucked up when she got the COVID shot.
Oh,
That one, she was
yeah.
pretty. But same thing. I'm just like,
Yeah.
here's food, and like, I'm gonna be in the other room, like, just sleep. I don't know.
just sleep. Rub some
come
dirt
check
on
up-
yourself. I don't know.
I'll come check on you and make sure you're breathing every hour. But
check your
Are you
pulse,
alive?
Crystal.
All right, tight. Cool. I'm gonna go play FIFA.
yeah, that's good. So do you miss doing like, so before, I guess we can call it freelance, when you were just, freelancing, doing gigs as a musician, do you miss doing that opposed to having 9 to 5 with the UFC?
Yeah. I think it's like, it's just such a different type of lifestyle, right? Like because I was doing freelance music, but I ended up eventually doing freelance videography and photography too. Yeah. And so like I don't know, I was like super creative, but I was like super broke. Yeah. So it's like one of those things, like the trade-off, right? Like working the 9 to 5, I still get to kind of like be very much creative. But I still do miss like, just being like at the whim of my own schedule. However, I work better with something that I have to show up for. Right. Like as a freelance, that can be hard unless you are booking just like regular gigs every single week, or, like there's some routine. Like routine doesn't come easily to me. Okay. So like having the 9 to 5 is nice to have some structure, so that I'm like, okay, with the time that I do have off, okay, I have X amount of hours. What am I doing in those hours? Yeah. Even though most of them, I'm just sitting on my ass.
I was going to say, is there any, well, first off, I wanted to ask you what your week looks like, because I know the events are on the weekends. So are you working Monday through Friday, or do you have like Mondays off?
Yeah, so typically it's
Monday.
It's Monday.
You're off, right?
So I'm off.
You're
not working right now? Yeah, you haven't seen me posting to UFC right now? What?
We filmed this in her office.
So my week is typically Tuesday through Saturday if I'm working an event. If I'm not working an event, it's Monday through Friday. However, sometimes it can overlap. So sometimes I'll be working 6 days if I had worked an event prior, or hadn't worked an event prior, but then I'm working the next, But luckily our boss is like pretty laid back about it.
As long as your shit's getting done, they're like, do your thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Your boss is, you work directly under Gavin, right?
Gavin, yes. Gavin Rivera.
My question as far as schedule, because I can assume, like the Tuesday now you're already looking ahead, but what is Sunday like? So after a big fight, or really any fight, is Sunday like you guys get everything out that Saturday night and then Sunday is like a hard reset, or are you guys still kind of like
So we continue to like tell the story of whatever happened on the Saturday night, and it's more of like a recap. And then it starts to transition into whatever's upcoming for the following week. So we might do like from 6 to 8 a.m. ish until like 3 p.m. All of that content that's getting pushed out is recapped from like the previous night. And then anything beyond that starts to tell the story of whatever's coming up next.
So there is no hard reset. It's like the Sunday, Monday are like leaving Saturday, but now we're looking at what's ahead. Oh, shit.
So it's, we're always, we nonstop. Thank goodness for like scheduling and like being able to schedule posts, because if we weren't, it would be a fucking nightmare. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you can't really schedule posts for live content, right? Because you get that content as it comes in.
Yeah. So for that, it's like, that's why we have usually 1 to 2 people. If not, it's usually always 2 people who are posting the night of. So a lot of that like has been myself and my the content manager for like our global account.
Right.
We'll be posting, everything starting from like, there might be some scheduled posts maybe in the morning, but come like 2 hours prior to the fight card starting, we're all just like live posting.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Which is nuts, because sometimes like we'll post like 80 times a night, like on Instagram feed alone.
It's crazy. It's a lot of content.
It's crazy.
So how did you transition, or how did you get from MGM to where you're at now with the UFC?
Yeah. So I lost my job like everybody in 2020. Not everybody, but like our department at MGM, it was events and nightlife, and they kind of disintegrated, We thought we were everybody, you know, thought we're like, oh, 2 weeks.
It'll
okay,
be
cool.
back,
We'll be
yeah.
fine. Obviously that was not the case. And eventually, you know, our department just didn't exist anymore. And they're like, you know, if you have some stuff in the office, we can have you come and get it.
You're like, oh, shit.
It was like, yeah, it was like that. Yeah.
Oh, so
yeah, that's a shitty thing to read or hear. You're like,
dude,
no,
that
like,
was rough.
come get your shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people didn't go back, but like, it's okay. I mean, it was one of those things where like none of us could have predicted that.
yeah, that was such a fucking crazy thing.
It was wild.
At the time.
So glad we all survived. But basically for about 5 or 6 months, I was just kind of chilling and not really, you know, a lot of us, it was a waiting game for a lot of us, right? We couldn't really do anything. Nothing was really available. I luckily got a random email from LinkedIn saying, social media coordinator for UFC available. I never check those emails. I hardly ever check those emails. And that was the one, like, I was like, oh, I guess I'll start looking for something, whatever. That came through. I had a contact who actually went to U of A, who worked there, reached out to him. And then another one of my friends, his sister's sister,
his cousin's brother.
His sister's cousin's brother's dog.
Yeah.
Also worked for UFC. The mascot. So his girlfriend's sister, who's also my friend. I could have just said my friend's sister.
Yeah. Because
anyways, I'm just trying. I'm like, my brain is like, how did I get to that point?
You could have just said her name too.
Yeah.
Connecting those dots.
My friend's sister also worked in PR. She'd been there for like 10 years. And so I got in touch with her as well, and I got fast tracked for an interview. And within a week and a half, I had an offer.
Just shit.
Crazy. So sick.
They were looking for someone like immediately.
Desperately.
And but to be fair, you checked the boxes, right?
Yeah. I mean, like, luckily enough, I had the experience of doing social both at MGM, at Hawkson Group, and a few other like odd places here and there. And then I also had the freelance
creative background,
videography and photography experience. Like, I had a lot of that, you know, which was great, you know, to pull from. So I definitely was like, I think an ideal candidate.
Yeah, I was going to say like you wear both. It's not, I'm just a marketing thing, social. Yeah. But then I can't ever like physically shoot. And then the other where I could shoot all day long, but like social, I'm not with it. I don't know.
Yeah. It's very unique. Like I have a unique set of skills. But for this particular job, I did actually.
You got to do it like a little bit deeper. It's like, I have a very unique set of skills.
I can't. I
deeper.
wish I could.
What are you doing? Come on.
Deeper. I can't go.
Channel your inner Liam.
I love
know
Liam
who you are.
Neeson.
I will find you.
I will find you.
What was your go-to? How did you? So two things. What I'm just curious what you did during the pandemic with that 6 months of downtime, and then also what do you do now?
Yeah.
With your free time to kind of blow off some steam or just recuperate, unwind.
So during the pandemic, I played a shit ton of Call of Duty.
Oh,
nice. I played so much Call of Duty that I was like having dreams about Call of Duty.
Oh, fuck. That's a lot of Call of Duty.
That was a lot of Call of Duty. And I'm still not that good. Like that's the funny part. Yeah. I just was like, I was the anchor of the team. Like I'm always there to die, but like, you know,
you and AJ, were you together at that point?
We were not.
Okay.
No. We didn't start dating until like
a year ago,
February of 2021.
Oh, okay.
February, March. Yeah.
You're just chilling at home. Were you live by yourself?
I lived by myself. Oh, so it was fucking, dude. You want to know what's crazy? 5 days before I got the call that like, hey, we're not going to be in the office for 2 weeks. You know, the pandemic call. Yeah. The preemptive call. I got keys to my new like townhouse and I was like, okay, cool. Tay. Like I'm finally living on my own. Cause it was the first time I was like living by myself and boy, was it great. Oh my gosh. Cause normally you have like a weekend or 2 weekends to move your shit from one. I had indefinite amount of time.
Right.
I got to move in. I had 6 months to move into my place. It was awesome.
Just one piece at a time.
Yeah, you know, I was like, oh, I mean, like, obviously I had to be out of my other place, but to like get things settled, like I had so much
more
time.
leeway,
Yeah.
And so it was nice. It was a very like non-stressful move.
That's cool.
And too, it was like, oh, this is the first time I'm like getting to just be by myself and be with my thoughts. And fuck, I had a great time by myself. I'm not gonna lie. I had like, I was, you know, writing some music. I was playing Call of Duty. You know, I was going to the park to, you know, do a daily walk or run. Like it was a good time.
Yeah.
You know,
Are you still living there at that townhouse?
No. We moved into a place out in Summerlin.
Oh,
do you have a studio at the new place?
Yeah. I do.
What? Because Summerlin?
No, she's in
I'm with AJ. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We moved into a house in January. So
I think I saw you and you told me that or something. But yeah, that's awesome. And then what do you do now currently to chillax?
Now to chillax. You know, it can be anything from some Netflix.
I think you see some naps.
Some naps. I mean, naps are definitely built into. I love napping.
Yeah, same.
I don't nap nearly enough though.
Not as much as you'd like.
Yeah, no, I love naps.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish there was like a built-in like nap time at UFC. A siesta.
Oh, they should implement that.
Dude, like after lunch, it's rough. It's rough, man.
Yeah.
Just like a couple of like cots, like nothing crazy, just something to lie down.
Yeah. I'll
maybe a hammock even. I'll settle for a hammock.
Hammock would be tight. Dude, a hammock nap sounds so
nice. You
guys
are way too high class. I'll just fall asleep on the floor. I don't give a fuck.
You're like, give me a floor, give me
Have you ever seen Grandma's Boy?
No.
I have, but like back when it came out.
No.
You and AJ need to go see Grandma's Boy.
Okay.
Yeah, I napped on the couch last night. And then I woke up at like midnight to like finish my shit.
But he's like sleeping under his desk. So
I feel like I need to sleep under my desk.
Well, because
because
I was so tired and I was like, oh, I need to take a nap, but I have 4 galleries to edit for this morning, for Monday morning.
Oh man.
So I was telling my wife, I was like, oh, I'll lay on the floor. And she's like, why wouldn't you just lay in the bed? And I'm like, because I'll fall asleep. But if I lay on the floor, like my body will give me like a 2-hour wake up and then I'll be like, you're uncomfortable. Like, get up.
Yeah.
So.
Damn.
I know
that's
myself.
smart. I mean, it's good to know yourself at that point.
Trust me. I will take a nap right there on that floor.
That looks like a comfy,
that rug's pretty
comfy rug.
It's a lot comfier than you think.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Is it nap time right now?
I'm all for nap times. So you're gonna manifest nap timing.
I
UFC,
am.
Just a little 30 minutes.
Just a little bit. Just a little. I mean, we can always go out to our car. I found out the other day that not the other day, but like the other week, that my driver's seat goes all the way back.
Oh, like flat?
Like flat.
Sick.
My driver's seat goes
very
flat.
rare, yes.
I was like, wait, I can still keep going back. And I was like, oh shit, this is a game changer.
Yeah,
it is.
I need to throw a pillow in my car and then I can just take naps. You know, can take a 30-minute nap.
Yeah, I think mine does it too. And it's like, I realized the same thing. I'm like, holy fuck, like this is like a unicorn up in here. Like the driver can just.
Yeah.
Not
Usually,
that we act as if it's so much to just walk to the other side of the car, but still.
Yeah, but like if you don't have to.
Yeah, it's one extra step. I have to open 2 doors.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're just chilling out, or
I like to chill. I mean, sometimes it's hard because like the thing for me that I've been kind of battling is just when I get home. Realistically, I have like, let's say if I get home 5:30, 6 o'clock, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10:30. So I have like 4.5 hours of time to do stuff. I have to eat, obviously dinner, cook dinner, whatever that is.
Yeah, you gotta
that's
not
built in there. Hang out with the boyfriend. Not that like
10 to the boyfriend. Yeah, you have to nurture that relationship a little bit.
Yeah, no, like we're totally chill. Like we could be apart and be fine.
Yeah.
But you know, like we like to actually hang out. So that's one thing. I've been finding that it's hard though for me to like hone in on doing creative shit when I get home because I feel drained. You know?
Yeah.
And it's like the energy for me is like the thing that I'm trying to figure out what like works for me and what can work for me so that I'm being proactive and getting, it's like what you do with the time that you're off, like that matters.
Right? we were wondering that the other day of like, the difference between relaxing, being proactive, and then what was the third thing?
You were saying
wasting time.
Wasting time, yeah.
So the difference between relaxing, being productive, and wasting time. Like, how do you shift? Because they could all be in one thing. Like, you'd be like, I'm relaxing. Well, you're wasting time.
Right.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, so you're saying there's 3 things, but then that was my thing, is where I'm actually setting time aside to relax. I then feel like guilty while I'm relaxing that I'm wasting time and I could be doing more things to further myself. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No. I mean, I think it's interesting too, because I think in like US culture, just work culture, it's very much, if you're not doing something with your time, you're wasting it and you're a lazy piece of shit. Right? Like you always feel like it's either like, FOMO of like not being productive, or like we have to set aside time to rest. But it's like, how do you rest with the brain that, is just constantly feeling like it needs to move?
Yeah. I think that's why
it's different here.
Maybe creatives like substances. To just mute the brain.
Yes.
I feel like the Gary V era fucked us up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some positives, but I feel like that era of like people being on social media being like 24 hours in a day, like, you better work 23 of them if you want to. It's like,
you don't have to.
A certain extent. Like, like I'm at a point in myself where I can understand the shift of like, for example, the last 4 days was a very hard 4 days for me, lot going on. So mentally, I'm not even a human those last 4 days. Right. But now I have these next 3 days where I could kind of like reset, get some editing on this and that. But like, it's not like that at all times. Like, it's not going to be 24/7. Like, have the balance.
Well, and I think too, like social media, like even though I work in social media, I think for human beings just existing in general, it's been so detrimental because it's instilling like this instant gratification type of society, right? And that it's 24/7.
Yeah.
And that everything is nonstop. There's always something happening. Yeah, there's always been something happening in the world at any given time.
Always.
Forever.
Yeah.
Like there's always something, right? But I think because we are constantly seeing what other people are doing, and that also creates a sense of angst where you're like, oh, well, I'm not doing, I'm not creating a reel right now. Fuck. Yeah. I'm like, I'm not being productive, And so it's just like a vicious cycle.
I completely agree.
Yeah. I see it on, I've noticed for me, I see it on like both sides of that, of like, on one hand, I see, like you said, you see everyone's like, it's like the waves at the beach, right? It's just constantly coming in. Everyone's doing something. But then I also see it on the other end where it's like the I don't know how to put this. I'm trying to put it delicate. Like the unfortunate side of things too, where it's like somebody lost their mother and then somebody lost their dog and all these other things too. And so I always see that where it's like, fuck, dude, like I start to take on that too of like, oh dude, like my friend's kid got hurt and like this person lost their mother and I'm taking in all that. I'm like, holy shit. Like it's just both sides are just crumbling in of like, I can't.
I feel the same way. The UFC fighter just died of cancer. He's 34.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude,
Elias
can't remember his name off the top of my head.
Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
He's in world-class shape. Yeah. And he got cancer and he died at 34.
Yeah.
He liver cancer?
Liver cancer is what they
sad, man.
Nice.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I have a sensitive liver. So every day I'm like, I have liver cancer. I'm dying. Like, every day I'm dying. And then I see this guy.
And you're like,
and I see this guy who's like in way better shape than me. And probably way healthier than me. I'm like,
right.
Yeah. It's sad, man. There's a lot of sad shit.
Yeah.
And it's hard too, because like it's easy to take on like that energy. It's easy to take on that energy from others too. It's like,
I was gonna say,
right?
Just
you're good.
That's okay. I think that's the shitty one.
It's okay.
Sean,
they're all shit. Yes, they are.
They're
to be
all
fair,
shitty.
They're all crappy mic stands, but that one's like the
it's okay.
That one's the, what is it? What's the saying? Children?
It's the loose one.
It's the, I know, but like I don't know. I know.
What? Say it. Do it.
Do it. No, I don't know. Yeah, no, it's like, it's wild. It's a wild time we live in. It's existential crises left and right.
Yeah.
And then, couple that with anxiety,
and then you die.
substance abuse, and then you die.
And then, then what? Then you just die.
And then what? No.
I
mean, there's so many good things to like take into, but it just can be very overwhelming.
Definitely can be overwhelming.
Yeah. And I also just found out that I have ADHD. So I got diagnosed with that, which is cool and fun tidbit. So now I'm like, well, okay, my brain's always feeling a little on overload and I can't focus. Cool. Tight. As an adult, it's like a different.
Are you trying medication or trying any remedies or?
I'm trying to get in touch with a doctor.
Oh, cool. To see what your options are.
Yeah.
For like Adderall?
I mean, whatever it is, it might be like Adderall.
I thought that they would like, that's like their one.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's the one substance. I mean, no, there are like a lot of different.
Have you not taken Adderall?
No, Ivana's on it, but that's what I'm saying. I thought that was like the one solution of like, this is all we got. Here you go.
No, they have other ones.
Oh, okay.
Because I was gonna say, if you haven't taken Adderall, take it and tell me if you fucking focus. Because I go from a 5 all over the place to a 20. I'm just fucking like,
oh, it's worse for you,
dude. I'll be on my way to take the trash out, and then I'll fucking pick up the dog shit, and then power wash the concrete in my backyard, and then wash the windows, and be like, oh fuck, I gotta take the trash out.
That's great. Love it. Yeah.
No, dude, it's
shit, I went outside for something. What was it? Oh shit, I gotta paint the house. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's
and then
I'll
go pee, and then I'll trim my pubes, and then wash my nuts, and then clip my toenails, and then be like, I still have to piss.
Like, I still have to take out the trash. I still haven't done that one thing.
Take a piss. That's what it was.
That's what it was.
That shit will not. Dude, coffee does that to me. It makes me go from a 5 to like an 8.
No, Adderall's supposed to. The times I have taken it, I've been extremely focused. Yeah.
No, it helps.
I mean, you're focused. Yeah, I'm focused for like 10 minutes, and then I'm like, what else can we do?
He's a squirrel. Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly. That's That's exactly how I feel.
But yeah, so you're trying to get in touch.
Trying to get in touch with someone so that I can like figure out, what the right ways. Yeah, because it makes so much sense. But like, I just started also going to therapy, and my therapist was like, "Have you ever gotten tested for ADHD?" And I was like, "No." She's like, "You might have it." And I was like, "Oh, awesome." So I went through like 8 or 10 hours of testing, and
damn,
yeah, it's pretty fun. And I do have it. So yeah, it's just kind of figuring out like how to navigate that.
I was going to say, is that another benefit of having a 9 to 5 is health insurance?
I mean, yeah, it is great. I do have really good insurance. I'm able to, I think that, it's like, it offers like the stability, right? Which I wish that there were better ways for like freelance and creatives from that perspective to have access to proper health care in that regard, so that it's like you don't have to feel like you have to rely on getting a 9 to 5 to get those benefits, or to get a 401k or whatever,
I was gonna say, or
getting a wife
or pay an exorbitant amount.
Yeah. Which like, I mean, if you don't really have any health issues, then cool, fine, whatever. Like, but I think it's always good. I mean, like access to therapy. Like that's one thing that, I mean, I have a copay, but it's significantly less than what it would be if I were going to someone just to pay out of pocket.
Yeah. So, I have a friend who has a 9 to 5, and I was just talking to him, and he was saying, like, I want to leave, but I don't because I have access to
hard. Yeah.
mental health care. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's hard to kind of like, you weigh those options, right? But I've been in both situations, and there are certain resources for freelances, but it's just not the same as like what you get with like a corporate,
an actual provider.
Yeah. How do you guys do that? How do you like?
I'm under Ivana's insurance.
Okay.
But I do also have, I'm under hers for that. I have photography business insurance, but it's not that.
Yeah. Because like if you have an LLC, are you able to
Well, I have free healthcare right now because of the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
So
great. Well, that's good.
Bless my girlfriend. She was like, hey, I think you can get approved because you're freelance and you lost your job. So I got approved.
Nice. Okay.
And then it was up in the beginning of the year, but because COVID ramped back up, they extended it this year.
Okay.
So
nice. But
yeah, so basically I found a new plan and I signed up for it, not knowing I still had health insurance. But it's like almost $400 a month because I do have to go to the doctor every 3 months for my liver.
Okay. Yeah. So, shit.
Yeah. Just to keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
I have a mass in it, but they said it's just a piece of fat. So, but every day I'm like, and they're fucking so wishy-washy. I didn't think I was gonna talk about this on the podcast, but they're so fucking wishy-washy. Like, oh yeah, you're fine. Like your liver's just a little fatty. Like it's super common. And I'm like, well, it's like, oh, just keep doing whatever you're doing. I'm like, so like, should I like, can I drink like every once in a while? Can I like, what should I not eat? What should I eat? It's just, dude, no straight answers ever. And then I go back and then like my levels will be like almost back to normal. Like, oh, like you're doing good. And then it's like I'll have friends in town or I'll go on vacation and then I'll have a couple of drinks. Yeah. And then I feel like super guilty for like, weeks and weeks and weeks. And then I see people die of liver cancer.
Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, that's super sensitive. Yeah.
I was like, I'm dying.
No,
but yeah. So that's what goes on in my head every day.
Oh, and that's completely valid. Like it's annoying and it's annoying and it's, I don't know. When you find a good doctor who's like actually very much so forthcoming and transparent, you're like, oh my God, I love you. But it's so like people can be so wishy-washy, like with instruction. I'm like, wait, you have people coming to you for your expert advice and you're not giving any proper.
Oh, the last person told you to do what? Don't do that. And you're like, what?
That's also, I mean, I feel like it's hard. Like you could find articles all day long to support anything that you want to online.
That is the worst.
Which is
that's
terrible.
My recommendation.
It's my recommendation.
Don't go online.
Doctors have been wrong for the last 100 years. And you're like, oh, fuck, really? Damn. Okay. Yeah. And then it comes back. No, that one was wrong too. And you're like,
okay, cool.
So which is it? It's like, what's the SpongeBob meme where he doesn't know where to go?
Yes.
He's panicking.
Yes.
Fuck.
The caveman.
Yeah. Pro tip.
It's me always.
Pro tip, any symptom you have can be cancer online, so don't look it up.
Oh yeah, well definitely. No.
Don't go on fucking
don't go on WebMD.
Yeah, WebMD.
I mean go, but like also don't. Yeah, man. It's wild.
I wanted to ask, what is your favorite or what has been your favorite venue to play musically?
Ooh.
Or do you not have one yet, but you have your sights on one?
Okay. I'll give you two.
Okay.
So one of my favorite venues that I've played that doesn't exist anymore is the Bunkhouse here in Las Vegas.
A local spot.
I loved the Bunkhouse so much, and I hope that somebody buys it and renovates it, and because it caught on fire like at some point.
Yeah, not that long ago.
Not too long ago. But I also have no concept of what real time is, so it could have been a year ago.
I feel like it wasn't more. It definitely was after 2020.
Oh yeah, no, it was after the pandemic. Like it was after everything closed.
Like, fuck, that's a shitty blow.
Yeah. So like the Bunkhouse was like I've seen so many good shows there, and I've also performed there a handful of times, and it's been so much fun. And it's always just, I don't know, it's like one of those staples for like the local Las Vegas scene to play there. And then what else? Let's see. So the Brooklyn Bowl is also a fantastic venue.
Brooklyn Bowl's a good spot.
Yeah. It's sound wise, it's great. It's a huge room though. Like it takes a lot of people to fill there, but the sound is great.
Yeah.
So that's been one of my favorite places to play as well. I'd love to play Madison Square Garden someday.
Oh,
but that's like on the bucket list for like every artist ever in the history of music.
Yeah. But
yeah, no, I mean like to be able to play or open up for someone in kind of like an arena setting is definitely on the list,
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Is music your like ultimate goal?
Absolutely.
So like you don't want to be like, doing social media marketing forever.
No.
Okay.
sorry, UFC, but they know. They all know. Like my boss knows. He's like, okay, just give me like, at least a month or 3 months before you go on tour. Okay. Like everybody knows. Cool. Like, and that's the thing. It's like everyone knows, or people have found out, for the most part, that music is like my passion.
Well, they will now.
I thought there was a very cool overlap when you were on I'll let you talk about it, but you were on the marquee at T-Mobile.
Oh, was I?
Yeah. Was she? I didn't see that.
She was on inside the T-Mobile arena. You were on the marquee.
I was?
Oh my God, Kaylie. You posted it on your own damn social media.
I did?
Yes, because then everyone from UFC was posting it for you. They were like stoked for you.
Wait, hold on. My brain's like, I'm like, am I living in a fever dream? Oh my God, yeah.
The fucking Golden Knights. Jesus. Her song and then her shoes.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I almost was like, wait, what happened?
Guess what? I'm from the future.
Guess what?
And no. I came back.
Yes, it happens. So like they for the Golden Knights on the music programming side, they do like a Vegas artist of the night that they'll play like a local artist song. Mm-hmm. And so you can submit. And so they play. I've actually had my song played twice, or 2 different songs played there. Nice. Which is awesome. So like, I'm sorry, what was the original question? Because like I was just taken out of my body for that.
The original question was, I don't think there wasn't an original question. It was me saying, because you were talking about coworkers finding you. So I was just saying how cool it is that the UFC family supports and like that overlap.
Yeah, no, it's so awesome. Honestly, like, everyone from the UFC end has been very supportive, and they're like, oh my God, it's so cool that you do that. And, for me, it's important for me to share like in an organic way. I'm not like, I'm not shoving it down anybody's throat that like I do music, but it's one of those things where I just found out one of my coworkers was in like this 90s band, like rock band that would open for the Smashing Pumpkins when they would play in Chicago.
Oh shit.
And he was like, and we were talking about music, and he was like, oh my gosh. He's like, send me some stuff. He was listening, and he like was so genuinely like impressed, and gave me like the best compliments that you could ever, like ask for or want from someone, but like to me, it's cool to be able to share that with people that like, see me in a different light, right? It's like you can do a lot of things, in your time on earth here.
Can I ask you, do you warm up in your car while you're driving to the gig?
Sometimes.
Okay. Cause I was just thinking like, what if you're running late? Like, where would you warm up, and how would you warm up?
Well, sometimes I just wouldn't warm up, but
is that how is that how you got injured?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
There's a lesson there.
That's my question.
What, huh? I'm sorry. Who? That is exactly how I got injured. Was not warming up ever.
I think that's
just raw dogging these gigs. Like,
I think it's everybody in their 20s and 30s. Like, oh, why is your knee hurt? Oh, I didn't warm up.
I just never did any stretching ever. No, but there's a lot to be said about warming up and getting your voice, body, all there. Like for
there's a lot to be said about raw dogging too.
There's
yes.
It's also something to be said about raw dogging.
I recently got to sing the national anthem at the Aviators game.
Oh yes, I was going to ask about that.
Fun.
Did I see about that? See that somewhere doing something? Yeah.
And so I was very much proper about warming up and practicing every day, and then warming up before the gig. Like actually happened. Like it's right down the street from my house. Like it literally takes me a minute to drive from my house to the Aviators. Like it's like very close. So luckily enough, there wasn't like a ton of time, but to like travel. But they had like a stairwell that they're like, yeah, you can go practice in there. I was like, perfect. Nice. So I warmed up. It's nice being able to like get to a point in whatever respective career and like be like, yeah, I'm properly doing what I need to do in order to prepare myself. Like, for this gig. Same can be said for like, making sure you have all of your lenses laid out before you well before you have to go shoot, and all that jazz.
Yeah, especially in your. I don't know if you
raw dog in photography as much, but
yeah, definitely raw dog in photography. A raw dog in my personal life with my girlfriend, and also in my career with photography.
The only thing I raw dog in my career, I feel like, is like changing lenses.
Like you're just like whatever.
Yeah, like in a dark club, you know what I mean? You're just like, fuck, I'm juggling.
You're like, I don't care, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah, just
who cares about dust?
10,000 equipment.
Yes.
I'm just juggling.
Yes.
Dodging drinks.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Balls.
I mean, there's a time and a place to raw dog. That's all I'm saying.
Let that be a lesson, kids.
Lessons.
A time and a place to raw dog.
Yes. If you learn nothing else from today's episode, take that with you.
Who is an artist that you would love to
I'm tapping out. I have to piss so bad.
Sorry. Okay. Goodbye.
Yeah. Who is an artist that you would love to, collaborate with or open for?
I love like Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars.
That's not that far out of reach.
I know.
Because they play here.
They do.
You have connections at MGM.
They do. I love them so much though. Just like it's one of those things where it's everything, right? But like musically, there are people that like I heavily appreciate and fuck with like what they're doing from that level, because they're paying like, especially with like the Silk Sonic thing, they're paying homage to like classic music that I think has a lot of integrity, you know, musically. But I just love to like the approach that both of them have, and they are very much involved with the process of music,
very hands-on.
Yeah, incredibly hands-on, and like musicians in every sense of the word, and performers too. I mean, like there's so much to be said with like how either of them, both like solo or together, what they bring performance wise, what they bring energy wise. It's just, it's unreal.
I like that like when you can see that in an artist, that like they genuinely like care for things versus just showing up and like being a performer, or like because you like their songs and it's nostalgic. Like I like seeing that, like that deeper level of like, dude, I genuinely like love them and what they do. Yeah,
I heavily mess with that. And I've been following, I mean, Bruno's obviously been kind of like in the front spotlight, for some time now. And Andy, I think, has come up a little bit more recently, like in the spotlight. I mean, he's been in the spotlight, but it's one of those things where like if you follow music, you've known about him, but like he hasn't necessarily been like as mainstream as Bruno has been.
Yeah, definitely not. But I see what you're saying. Like definitely the last few years, he's definitely like climbed a couple, ladders.
For sure. But like I've always appreciated what like Anderson has done. Just I mean, the dude is so talented. I don't know how you can play drums and sing at the same time. Like that blows my mind. But I also, it's just like, it's good.
I could barely even play the drums back in the day, let alone be good at it and sing.
Barely walk.
And be good at singing.
Or just walk. What?
Is it tire, shoes, and chew gum?
What was that?
I said tire, shoes, and chew gum.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your favorite pair of shoes?
My favorite pair of shoes?
Yep. Let's hear it.
Reebok Classics.
Okay. I know you just said classics, but I have the classics, but are they the
white ones trainers? With the foam bottoms. I could literally pull up a
picture. Is that the ones that I have?
I don't know.
I feel like they are.
No, your Reeboks?
My white, like dad shoes?
Do you have them here?
Yeah.
Go get them.
Go fetch your Reeboks.
It's so funny too. Like when I first started working for UFC, Reebok was their like fight kit and shoe sponsor. And so, okay, not quite, but like same, like the old school classics. Yeah, mine have like foam bottoms on them. They're the most comfortable shoe I've ever had, and will continue to get them every single time. Yes. But when I first started, I thought like it was required to wear Reebok shoes because it was our sponsor. And my manager at the time didn't say other. He was like, I was like, so do I have to like wear Reebok stuff? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. So I like went to the Reebok store. They gave us like a discount, which is nice. But I ended up finding my favorite pair of shoes. I love them so much. Yeah. I do actually really like Vans though. I never had a pair of Vans until I started dating AJ, and he.
Oh shit!
You never wore Vans in middle school?
No.
Damn,
what did you wear in middle school?
What did I wear in middle school? Oh shit!
Like Vans, like middle school is like the staple.
Converse,
like,
probably.
Okay, Converse. That's a because they're cheap. You can destroy them. Your mom's not gonna be pissed. Like
exactly. No,
and they look good with everything.
When I was in middle school and high school too, like I lived in Oregon, and so everybody's mom worked at Nike because I was in Beaverton, and so a lot of kids wore Nike. I didn't. I just never
Fucking
did.
Rebel.
I was a rebel. Yes, wore the Converse. Probably wore Skechers.
You wore Docs a lot,
huh?
You wore Docs a lot, Doc Martens.
I have one pair. Well, I did have one pair of Docs, but I had to give them up because they were hurting my feet. They're so hard.
The boots you usually wear are not
the boots I have are Steve Madden. I love Steve Madden. Actually, I take it. Okay. Favorite pair of shoes might be the Reebok Classics, but favorite shoe designer that I could get any shoe that works, Steve Madden.
Okay.
All day long. I love Steve Madden.
Steve Madden.
I love Steve Madden, whatever. Yeah, they make good shoes.
Yeah, Docs hurt the feet.
What about
What about you, Sean? Yeah.
My favorite pair? These are cool. These are they're not my favorite. They're definitely not my favorite. This is my first pair of skate highs, but I've worn Vans all growing up. My favorite pair, I do like a Converse high top.
Yes.
But I like to preface it like this too. Like if you had to wear one shoe silhouette for the rest of your life.
I would say, okay, recent Sean.
Yeah, because it's like you have to count
a dunk.
Comfortability.
Nike Dunk.
Nike Dunks are swaggy, but they're fucking not that like supportive.
Yeah. My Steve Madden boots all day long.
Really?
My combat boots. Yeah.
Okay. So then you go to war, you could go to work.
I could literally do anything in those shoes.
You could stomp heads.
Yes.
I would say, currently I would say like, Nike Dunk Low. That's what I would, if I had to.
Nice.
Those are comfy.
What about you?
Ultra Boosts.
That's right.
Ultra Boost?
Always. These are MX 90s.
Okay. They're Ultra Boost.
The
Nike.
Adidas. So these are Nikes, and then there's
so who makes the Ultra
Who
Boost?
makes
the Adidas Ultra Boost. I'll show you.
Okay, I should know that, but
I don't know.
just,
don't worry, I don't know either. I'm not a shoe guy. So.
You're not?
I have. If you saw my closet, I literally have 10 pairs of shoes.
And you're like, all right, these are the shoes.
That could be a lot of pair of shoes for.
If 3 of them are dress shoes, so those go out the window.
Yeah.
The rest of them are all black. Like they're not.
Yeah, they're just like
I have
whatever.
like basically it whittles down to like 3 that like look cool.
Yeah.
So no.
Yeah. I would say like my most Steve Madden.
These ones.
Steve Madden.
The Ultra Boost. Oh yeah. I actually have, it's funny. I have shoes that are like this. And I should have known.
That's what those are.
I should have known. Yes.
Yeah.
These are comfy as fuck.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, like to work it all day?
Yes.
You know what they are now?
They're like the Yeezy ones.
Yeah,
It's like Yeezy crossover.
They're like
the Ultra.
They look like Adidas has a pair similar.
They are Adidas.
Oh, they are. Oh wow.
It's okay.
Jesus Lord.
I'm rubbing off on Sean.
Yeah.
Those look very similar to Adidas.
So,
dummy.
Each episode we like to do some recommendations.
Yes.
A gear rec.
Yes.
A local rec.
Yes.
A chill rec.
Okay.
And we would like you to recommend some piece of gear or maybe even a practice that you do in your field that makes your job easier.
Ooh.
This doesn't have to be job related. It could be music related too. It could be kind of anything that sticks out.
Like good mic stands.
Yes. What? Yes. What makes my life easier?
Or how about this also? Something a little more specific. When you warm up, what does that mean? Do you do like the tea that people do? Do you have that type of thing?
So I don't do like tea, but I have like a set of vocal warm-ups that I use. However, there is this thing called Vocal Zone that I actually kind of got like it was kind of like a apply to be sponsored, and then you can be sponsored by us. And like it was like one of those things, like a low key sponsorship. But my dad introduced them to me. They're like these vocal pastilles that you know, it's kind of just like a cough drop ish kind of thing. But like it's great for like if you have a cold or if you need to warm up
just
or like
lubricate your vocal cords.
It's so great. And I swear by them. Vocal Zone, they're great. They do make tea. They make the like pastilles that you can just suck on. What else do they make? I think it's just those two, but that is probably like my best recommendation for vocalists. If you don't have those, order them online right now. Go do
Lubricate them cords.
Lubricate them cords, my guys.
My dudes.
My dudes, do it. Yeah.
Do you have any fun projects coming up on the horizon you're excited about?
Ooh. I'm working on a few like top line things with some producers, like actually.
What's a top line thing?
What?
What's a top line?
What's a top line? Okay, so a top line.
You know what a top line is?
Essentially, it's like it's a vocal melody and lyric.
Okay.
For like, if you hear like an EDM, it's typically like an electronic music. Yeah. That's what they're referred to as. It could be just like a lyric and like a vocal melody.
Okay.
Just in any song. Like when you hear
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
it's a song with a nice
it's a song, and you're like,
with a nice,
yeah,
with a nice.
There's a nice melody.
Don't cloud her thoughts, Mike.
She asked me to give her a song. We made a song on the fly.
Just right now, yeah. It's called Liquid Death. Yeah, so I'm working on some top line stuff right now that might get featured. And then I'm working on my album.
Ooh.
So
do you have a name?
I do.
Can you say it?
Yes. It's going to be called Late Arrival.
Late Arrival.
Yes.
Very nice.
And I'm stoked whenever it comes out. I'm hoping within the next year. That's the goal. But I finally have like a sense of direction for it, and I'm stoked. Took me a while to get here, obviously, hence the name.
I was gonna
ask. There are more reasons than one why it's called Late Arrival.
Very nice.
But yeah, that's my next kind of hurdle to get over, and work through, and also enjoy, because got to enjoy the process too.
Yeah.
Right?
Do you look forward to things like the UFC card in Dubai in October? Is that like something you're going to go to?
Oh, hell yeah. I'm not going.
Because you've gone in the past though, right?
But I have. But I look forward to that card so
that
much.
card's fucking sick.
I'm so excited. Oh, it's going to be so
how
good.
come you're not going out there?
It's one of those things where like, it just depends. Like a lot of our regional teams will probably be going.
Okay.
And it's not necessary to have every single person on ground for that. Because it's in Abu Dhabi, it works a little bit different than some of our other international cards. But yeah, I will not be.
Could you go if you wanted to? Like,
absolutely.
Could you have been like, yo, dude, like, I really want to go. And I'd be like, all right, yeah, we'll switch you out or whatever.
Yeah.
She's like, that, a weekend at home kind of sounds tight too.
Yeah. Well, you'll still be working from here though, right? I mean, you don't like get the
No, I'll still be like working remote. But I just won't be physically there. The next work trip is to New York City, and I'm so excited.
Nice.
I love New York. Yes, baby. Let's go.
Have you been in that venue before?
I have. I went for the first time last year. I've been to New York before that, but like that was the first time at MSG.
Nice.
And it's awesome. I love New York so much.
Really?
I love New York. Yes.
I've never been.
Never been.
Neither of you?
No, and I've never been.
I had a layover like a couple weeks ago, but it doesn't count because I didn't leave there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Anybody who has the chance to stay there for like 4 days or more.
For minimum 4?
I would say, yeah, because like you have to be able to take, like it's a lot. There's like
a ton,
it's very much like overwhelming if you're not used to that kind of energy. Like the energy there is nuts.
Yeah.
But it's so fucking exciting. And it's just, there's always something happening. And just kind of like it is here, but it's just like amped up.
Way more.
And it's like old school. Like you just get, I fucking love New Yorkers so much. I don't know. I don't know how else to say it. Like just go.
I think you said it. I mean, you definitely said that.
Yeah. There's nothing like it anywhere. So New
Is
York.
there any advice you would give 20-year-old Kaylie?
Just do your shit, man. Just keep doing it. Yeah, consistent. Like I think if anything, like just be consistent with whatever it is that you do. And that's true. Yeah, stay the course, man. Like I think it's so easy to get caught up in whatever's cool now or whatever's happening now or whatever. But like in whatever you do artistically or not artistically, it's just the consistency part and building self-discipline and just good habits in that regard can hold you in good stead in whatever you do.
Great. Consistency, good habits.
Yes. Yes.
There'd be a lot of
and warm up.
And warm up.
There is a lot of things. There's a lot of things telling you not no, but there's a lot of outside noise that will tell you to not finish something, right? Like self-doubt, like you said, just interest of like this and that. So stay the course.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah.
Keep pushing, keep at it.
Yeah. And that's what I'll tell myself today too. Not just 20-year-old me, just also me today.
What's today?
No, like today, like Kaylie, be consistent.
Yeah. Well, you will now. You have something to. You have a new deadline. You have a new album.
I do, which is awesome, and I do actually. That's a great point to put a deadline on it.
There you go. Well, something like
kind of like a loose. Aiming is good.
Type of thing, or
next summer.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
It could be.
If it could be before
June
then, cool.
Or August. That summer. Yeah.
Yeah. August of 2023. You will hear Late Arrival by then.
Yeah. Well, we'll have you on, and then you could be promoting it.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother.
Sweet. Well, on that note, thank you guys.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you,
Kaylie. Awesome.
It was very awesome.
It's so nice to catch up.
Where can people find you?
You can find me on the interwebs at Who Is Foster. Yes, it's all everywhere. TikTok,